As we are all well aware, San Luis Obispo is currently in the midst of the worst drought in California's recorded history. Lake levels have dropped significantly, water-saving measures have been implemented, and the community has once again responded impressively. This is because drought is nothing new to the community of San Luis Obispo. Many times over the years, the city has found itself on the receiving end of one of California's notorious droughts. From our earliest recorded conservation regulations in the late 1800s through to today, the community has always worked together to make it through these difficult times by steadily reducing water use and expanding water supplies. Let's look at a few of the city's most recent droughts and some of our recent achievements. From 1987 to 1992, a severe drought depleted local surface water supplies and forced the community to re-examine its long-term water strategy. The city enacted emergency measures to bolster groundwater production and also to cut water consumption through mandatory rationing. During this time, the community was able to lower its gallons per capita daily water use from 182 in 1987 to 117 in 1989, and ultimately as low as 86 GPCD in 1991. Though the city was able to reduce water usage, these tough times called for equally tough measures, many affecting not only the look and feel of San Luis Obispo, but also the quality of life for the community. The mandatory rationing and allotment programs enacted by the city were not immediately perfect and didn't go unnoticed by the community. Fortunately, as time went on, regulations and programs were refined, and the community became more accepting of the compromises that had to be made. Thankfully, in March of 1991, the city received an abundance of rainfall in an event commonly referred to as Miracle March. This event, along with subsequent years of continued conservation and average or above average rainfall, lifted the city from the drought and stabilized local water supplies. Fast forward 25 years to 2016. For the past 4 years, the city has been in a drought much worse than the 87 to 92 drought. Citywide population has grown, rainfall has dwindled to historic lows, and the drought is once again on the front page of the state and local newspapers. Despite the severity of the current drought, the community's investment in water conservation and additional water supplies has left us much more secure today than we were in the 80s and 90s. Let's explore a few steps that the city has taken to reduce water use in the community and to provide additional water supplies. In 1988, the city began drilling wells to supplement water supplies through the use of groundwater. During this time, the city went from using solely surface water sources to using groundwater for nearly half of its yearly demand. The expanded use of groundwater allowed the city to alleviate demand on its two main water sources, Whale Rock Reservoir and Salinas Reservoir. This use of groundwater peaked at nearly 2,000 acre-feet in 1990. Over the years, the city has implemented many water conservation programs. One of the most effective consisted of several programs designed to reduce water use through the installation of low-flow plumbing fixtures, mainly low-flow toilets. This series of toilet replacement programs alone has accounted for yearly permanent water savings of roughly 1,500 acre-feet a year. That's a permanent reduction of roughly 500 million gallons of water every year. Although planning began in 1991, it wasn't until 2006 that the city began delivering recycled water. Recycled water is a unique, non-potable water source that provides businesses, large multifamily properties, and city parks with a water source for irrigation and construction projects. Every year since it became available, the use of recycled water has grown. In 2015, the community's use of recycled water amounted to nearly 60 million gallons, enough to offset the usage of about 1,000 homes in San Luis Obispo. In 1991, the city began work investigating possible use of Nacimiento as a future water source. After years of planning, engineering, and construction, the city received its first deliveries from Nacimiento in January of 2011. The city's initial entitlement provides the community with up to 3,380 acre-feet of water each year and adds another valuable source of supply, further diversifying the city's water portfolio. In March of 2016, the San Luis Obispo City Council requested its full share of the remaining unallocated Nacimiento water, an additional amount of up to 2,102 acre-feet each year. Combined with its original entitlement of 3,380 acre-feet, this increased the city's yearly entitlement to 5,482 acre-feet. Nacimiento has historically been a very secure source of water during periods of drought, due to its large watershed and 377,000 acre-foot capacity. Amazingly, Nacimiento's capacity is nearly 6 times the capacity of Salinas and Whale Rock combined. The city's current entitlement to Nacimiento amounts to 15% more than the city's total water usage in 2015. Despite population growth, the city's total water demand has actually decreased since the late 1980s, reminding us that technological advancements and a more aware community often provide solutions we never imagined possible years ago. Essentially, what we think we know today might not always hold true, but one thing is for certain: a water-secure San Luis Obispo is a major priority today, and it will continue to be well into the future. The planned upgrades for the Water Resource Recovery Facility are just the start in positioning the city to treat wastewater for potable reuse, something we never could have dreamed possible during the 87 to 92 drought. We appreciate the community's support and look forward to playing our part in keeping San Luis Obispo a water-secure city.